Has anyone heard of Mount Trumbull, Arizona?
Mm-hmm.
What have you heard good about it?
My niece are from there.
Yeah? No?
Luana,
Epic dances?
No, we've had some pretty classic dances out there, yes.
Got a little schoolhouse that burnt down.
But it got built back.
and it's really dirty, and Luana Hatch was always trying to be cleaned off by her mom, and she never could get the dirt off of her.
That was the place. It's about 60 miles south of St. George, north of the river. And it's just a bunch of ranches. They used to have a school there, but they've discontinued that. It's too easy to bring kids to town. And so how long it's been since it was a good school was when I was a kid and first started school. I came to, my birthday is in November. And so, you know, when school started in September, that's pretty close. So they sent me to school. And I went to school for maybe a week or two, and they kicked me out. They said I had to go home and wait until next year to come to school. So then I went back out on the strip, and they had a school out there at that time, and there must have been 25 kids there at that time. And so if it was handy, I went to school. But because I knew I was going to have to go to first grade the following year, I didn't do that very good either. So I kind of went to the first grade out there where there was 6 grades in one room schoolhouse. It was more of a church house to us because I had older siblings that wanted to come into school after the 6th grade. And so, to me, it was a schoolhouse, but we went there for a church. So, that's all about there is to tell you about the Arizona Strip, other than the fact that it's a bunch of ranches. They don't have a ward anymore. They used to. Well, I guess what actually happened is it was too easy, and the people were driving back and forth and coming to town enough that they were coming in for school, and so they gradually, there was somebody here, I forgot who it was, that said that Mount Trumbull is where the Bundys came from.
Mm-hmm.
Who was that?
Shelley.
Oh. And yes, there was the Thanes and no Thanes out there. Snyder's, that was my maiden name. And Bundy's. There's a few other families out there. But now they've lost their school, and they quit having school out there. And they've even lost the ward now. For a long time, it was a ward. And we had, there was enough people out there at that time that in fact, I was married before they took the ward away from us. But that was It used to be a town, now it's just ranches. So, where did I meet him?
Don't tell me that. She told me she wanted in a crap game.
When I got through school, I went up to Montana where my oldest brother lives. And then with the family, my aunt and whoever was there and coming and going, when we went across over into California, because we had some relatives down there at that time. And now I don't even know why I'm telling you this part of the story. Anyway, I remembered why. But I went to beauty school down there. You can tell by how nice my hair was. Out in the wind. So, I went to beauty school down there, and then a friend that I had met at beauty school, and I came back to St. George, and we were planning to get a job in St. George, but we had a problem or she had a problem with residents, and so we went down to Las Vegas and got a job. And worked down in Las Vegas. That's where I met her now. He was down there in the Air Force. And I worked down there, I don't even know how long. But then I met him, he was down there in the Air Force. So we got married and didn't live there. As soon as he got out of the Air Force, he was out of Nevada and came back up here. We lived up in American Fork for a while, and then we came back down here to the good country and raised 9 kids, 7 boys and 2 girls. And the ones that you'd probably know would be Mary Hanson. Does anyone know her?
I just texted her a video of you talking.
Don't do that.
I did it in secret.
My other daughter is in Texas, but I have boys all around. And so
What are their names?
Kelly well, he's not with us anymore, so he lives on a different planet. And Don lives in Montana. David is in Japan. And yeah, he married a little Japanese girl. And he's just, I think his eyes are starting to move. That's David. Brent lives in Liverpool. And Jay lives in Liverpool. And Ruth Haven, and my daughter Mary, she teaches school down at, where does she teach? I think Liverpool. Maybe I don't know.
And you go on lots of trips to Montana. wanted to see your brother, and how old is he gonna be?
And my brother, Eldon, is a cowboy. When I grow up, I want to be a cowboy.
Jared. I'm the baby Jared.
And maybe
Oh,
Jared.
Paul.
Well, Paul, he's probably your age,
No, he's older.
is he? Jared
Jared is mine.
is your age. Okay. Anyway, that's our two youngest boys. So, don't live out on the strip anymore, but every chance that I get, I go out. So, it's a fun place to go, and we ought to go up there sometime and have fun. So, let's plan it. Go up there. Our place at Mount Trumbull isn't even our place. After my father passed away, Mom sold the place at Mount Trumbull, but we kept going in Penns Valley. That's another 30 miles further south, so that'd be nice. Instead of being 60 miles, it's a little bit more. But, yeah, that's a fun place to go. There's more water out there. We have wells, so we don't have to carry our water from the mountain or in our canteen. But, yeah.
So, Sister Thane, you said in Mount Trumbull there's not a lot of water there?
If there's any water, it's something that someone has hauled in. Oh, everybody has built ponds. And if you want to drink the water or after the cows or those kind of things, then you can use that water. But we're not very far from Nixon. Anyone know about Nixon?
I have not heard of Nixon.
It's up on the mountain just east of Mount Trumbull. And it's a good spring. It's good water. And we used to go up there. I don't know how often, but it was always a fun trip because we'd put 4 barrels of 50-gallon drums in the back of a wagon. And with a team of horses, we'd get up before daylight and head up on the mountain, fill up those barrels at Nixon, and then come back home. We'd stop somewhere along the line and cook dinner and get back late. And so it was a long, hard, hot drive. And I think the worst licking I ever had. Anyone know what that is? One time I just didn't want to go up and get with the family to get the water. So when I got to the first wash, just out of away from the house, I just slipped off the back of the wagon, crawled down into that wash, and there I stayed really quiet until that wagon was out of sight. And then I went over and ran over the fence and to Ida Mae Bundy's, who is Ida Mae Hughes now, if anyone happens to know her. Anyway, had a lot of fun. Mostly had to help her do all of her work and her chores, but then we had a few minutes to play until I saw my father come walking over the hill. And I saw him, I was out of there. And I made a great big circle down around, but he hid me off at the pass. I didn't ever do that the second time. They probably knew what happened, but I don't think it was a worry thing as much as just not having permission to do it. You know, the way I did it. I mean, I was, what, maybe 6, maybe 7. I don't know. Yeah. And I might have been older too.
Deborah, will you tell them the story about the rain? It's my favorite.
Yes, you'll have to
How you
tell.
fast, how everyone fasted and prayed for rain.
Yes, that was something that was really worth telling me about. Because out there it wasn't something that we needed, you know, just that we wanted rain, that the grass was drying up and, you know, it was, we had to have it. Yes. And Papa had always told us, and I never had a dad. He was always Papa. He was from Norway. His family was from Norway. And when he was always Papa. So, anyway, I don't know why I think that. I forgot what I was going to say about it.
Start out the rain.
Oh, yeah. We took these trips in the wagon up on to Nixon to get water, which was our drinking water. And as we left to go to this first wash, I just slipped off of the back of the wagon and laid right down there in that wash very quietly until the wagon was out of sight. And then I got up and ran over to my friend's house, who was this highway buddy. And I had several other there. Norma Bettridge. Some of you might know her.
That was her son.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, she's my age. And grew up out there. Anyway, yeah, it was just kind of a fun place to grow up. We didn't have any toys to speak of. I don't know what a toy is, but we always had horses to ride, and we could always think of more fun things to do horseback than any other way. And
We're in a really big drought.
Do you remember the story about praying for rain?
oh, I can remember praying for rain, and I remember it happened. Well, many times the whole town would just set a fast, just a day to fast for rain, and many more times than that. And when we'd do that, usually it was probably on a Saturday or Sunday, but many times I remember sitting in church and hearing the rain start splatting on the roof, and pretty soon it was just a downpour, and that church got evacuated in a second, because we all had ponds, and you know the tumbleweeds blew into the ditches, and those tumbleweeds had to be cleaned out to make sure that water got to the ponds. So that was just the way it happened.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us.
Yeah, that was a fun life.
Yes.
Thank you.